How much money do you think YouTube has paid us?
I'm going to say... You're not going to tell me?
No, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
So at the time that you're watching this video, our YouTube channel has about 120,000 subscribers. And at this point, we are full-time YouTubers.
But just 6 months ago, that wasn't the case. I was moving back to the East Coast because I couldn't afford to pay rent in Los Angeles.
Colin and Samir is not a company. It doesn't make any money. It doesn't have a business plan. It doesn't do anything.
I just wake up and I'm like, oh, it's over.
Yeah. I understand that. I feel that way too, man.
And then only a month later, I was on a flight back to LA because our business had changed drastically.
And today, to operate our business and to continue growing it, we incur a lot of expenses.
That includes gear, insurance on that gear, paying freelancers, taxes, paying ourselves, and now to add to that, paying rent on our new studio space, which we will show you at the end.
And all of those expenses add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. That's like, for real, that's like hundreds of thousands of dollars to operate this business. Typically on the breakdown, we talk about other creators and their businesses. But on this episode, we're actually gonna talk about ourselves. We're gonna flip that around and break down our own business.
And to be clear, like a lot of creators, our business is advertising.
But yeah, you might be wondering how this works. 100,000 YouTube subscribers, hundreds of thousands of dollars of expenses. How does this work?
You may also be wondering, why do I have a seatbelt on? We're in a parking garage and we're not even moving.
That's a really good question, but Colin really values safety across the board.
Yeah, I just didn't even notice that.
He is the least risky guy that I know.
I'm pretty risk averse.
Yeah.
That's true.
Watch the breakdown.
There are a number of ways that creators make money, and we like to categorize those ways into two groups. Business to business, in which a creator sells their services to a business, and direct to consumer, which is when a creator sells something to their audience. So with business to business, you have Adsense and brand deals. And then with direct to consumer, you have merch and paid content. Now we're gonna go through how we make our money and also show you some other creators who really excel in these different areas. But we're gonna start with business to business by talking about Adsense, because something really unique about YouTube is that they will actually pay the creators, like they will cut us a check. Adsense is a program that YouTube has to sell advertising on creators' videos, including ours. The video ads will play either before, after, or in the middle of our videos. And there are also banner ads that will show up around the videos. We get 55% of the revenue and YouTube takes the rest.
So if you want to see an example of what that looks like, here's a mid-roll ad. If you're looking at me right now and going like this, that means the mid-roll ad might not have played, but if it did play, how cool is that?
Yeah, and comment below, tell us what the ad was.
Yeah, that was probably awesome if I could just go like that and then
I mean, I don't know if it was awesome to watch the ad, but hopefully, I mean.
But it was a cool like integration of like, hey, whoa, Samir just said there's gonna be a mid-roll ad and boom, there's a mid-roll ad.
Yeah, that would be cool. But what you're probably wondering is how much money do we make from AdSense? Is it enough to actually be significant to our business?
So since we started this channel, we've done about 8 million views. Total. So we actually asked all of you how much you thought YouTube paid us through AdSense for 8 million views. And we got such a wide range of answers. 300K, 30,000, 50,000. This is very specific. $3,695.
Not enough.
That's true. $1 million, that would be cool. So in 4 years of uploading with 7.9 million views, YouTube has paid us $9,587.56. The reality is, of course, across 4 years, that is impossible to make a living off of that for two guys.
But that doesn't mean we're not taking AdSense seriously.
So here's something interesting about mid-roll ads. We did this recently with our Mr. Beast video, which is one of our longest videos, like 13 minutes or 14 minutes long. Once we put in those mid-roll ads, the views started to go up exponentially. Now, it could be a coincidence, but probably it's because YouTube is incentivized to surface our video more when there's more ads in the video.
Think about it. We can make double the amount of money if we have double the amount of ads in our videos. And so can YouTube. And if we pick the right topics whenever possible and talk about industries that have a lot of money behind them, like tech, finance, or real estate, we can make a lot more money on the same amount of viewership, if not less. So Shelby Church made a really great video about the AdSense she made on a video where she talked about Amazon.
So the video that actually ended up making the most money this year was about how people make money on Amazon. So this video got 1.7 million views, and it actually ended up making about $4,000 more than my most viewed video with 6 million views.
So that's $30,000 on 1 million views. To compare that with us, we've made about $2,300 this year on 1.6 million views. Now, AdSense for us, right now we're making like $200 a month on AdSense, and obviously that does not cover our expenses or even get close. So the next way that creators make money in the business to business category is through brand deals. So brand deals are oftentimes brokered by like a sales rep or an agent or a manager, and that is kind of the value of like YouTube managers. So for us, we're managed by a company called Space Station, and they help us get brand deals.
A lot of our first brand deals started around $1,000 to $2,000 for a single integration into a video. And for reference, our first brand deal came when we had around 25,000 subscribers. Now these rates can end up getting really high. According to David Dobrik, the most he'd ever heard a creator making on a single integration was $500,000.
But one of the most important things in a creator business is recurring revenue that's coming in every single month. So then you can actually stabilize and figure out how to experiment and build more content. And for us this year, the reason why we are able to be full-time creators is because we were able to sign year-long partnerships with brands.
One is Samsung and the other is Storyblocks.
Storyblocks was the first brand to partner with us on a year-long basis. And that played a major role in allowing us to become full-time creators.
In addition to making videos for Storyblocks on our channel, like this video is sponsored by Storyblocks, we also make videos for them that go on their channel. We use Storyblocks in the majority of our videos, including this one, like when we showed you the cash register, because who would actually have a cash register laying around, or who would want to go out and try and film one? That's why you go to Storyblocks, because they will have that footage of the cash register.
Among other things.
Of course, but they do have cash registers.
A good cash register variety.
Phenomenal. With the Storyblocks Unlimited All Access plan, they have everything that you would need to tell a story, including high quality footage, music, sound effects, and even After Effects templates. The best part about Storyblocks is that they have flexible subscription plans, so no matter what your budget is, you can find the right plan for you. Storyblocks supports us and creators like us, so we hope that you support them as well. Go to storyblocks.com/colinandsamir to sign up. Our brand partnerships have been years in the making. With Storyblocks, for example, we first worked with them in 2016 on a project that we did with our first company for Gatorade, and that was our first touch point using Storyblocks. So we've used their product for years and kept in touch with them until we've gotten to the point we're at right now, where it actually made sense to lock in a full year partnership.
So currently our revenue looks like this. The majority coming from brand deals. But like any good business, we want to be diversified. So ideally, the goal is to make the business look more like this, with a more even spread across the 4 categories of creator business.
So now we're going to move into the direct-to-consumer options that a lot of creators use to make money.
And the reason why direct-to-consumer is such a big opportunity for creators is because of that concept of 1,000 true fans. If you really have 1,000 true fans who are willing to pay for product from you or pay for experiences from you, you can create a living based off of that. And most YouTube creators have a lot more than 1,000 true fans.
And as a creator, if you're selling someone else's coffee, but you realize you're doing a really good job and you could probably just make your own coffee and sell it, that's what you would want to do, because then you can capture a lot more of that revenue and make the product in a way that's tailored specifically to your audience.
So the number one way that creators do this, which you're probably familiar with, is merchandise. Merchandise is a very significant source of revenue for a lot of creators. David Dobrik is said to make around $9.6 million a year on his merch. And Logan Paul said that one time he made $3 million in 3 days with his Maverick merch. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars being generated through YouTuber merch. I think the beauty industry has done an amazing job with this, being able to sell out and create actual companies based around beauty products, like Michelle Phan.
She co-founded Ipsy, and that company is valued at $800 million.
Creators have a leg up in creating consumer products because they have this massive audience base, this massive customer base that's ready to purchase from them.
We're in the early stages of exploring what our merchandise is going to look like, you know, if it's going to be apparel or products or a combination of the two, and what would actually work for all of you and something that we would all also be excited about.
And the last way that we're going to talk about that creators are making money is through paid content. So you might be familiar with Patreon. A lot of creators put some of their content exclusively behind a paywall. We also did this when we made a documentary with Yes Theory, where it was a pay what's fair model. But basically, a lot of creators are creating content and saying this will be exclusively available behind a paywall. One of the most successful creators that I've seen do this is Cody Ko and Noel Miller with their Tiny Meat Gang podcast. They publicly show their numbers on Patreon, and they show that they're making about $70,000 a month by having exclusive podcast episodes that come out, I think just a couple weeks early or a week early. $70,000 a month. Just as a frame of reference, like To make good money in advertising and on AdSense, you need millions and millions and millions of eyeballs. And you need millions of people to be watching your video. In direct-to-consumer, whether it's merchandise or paid content, you need like 10 or 20,000 people, and you can make a killing.
Now, this is something that we're moving forward with actually very quickly. And by the time you're watching this, you may already even be able to purchase our first piece of paid content. It's our online storytelling course that breaks down everything we've learned over the past 10 years of telling stories on YouTube. And the link for that is in the description.
Those are the 4 categories that we're seeing creators use to grow their businesses. And those are the 4 categories that we're looking at to grow our business now. And now we're going to show you our space, right? All right, so it is wildly dark in this hallway right now, but we're about to show you the first ever Colin and Samir studio.
Yeah, let's take a look.
So this is the space. This is like this massive, big, just blank space for us right now. When we saw it, we were just like, this feels exactly right. And if you're wondering right now, what was wrong with our old space that I'm sure you've seen in our videos, nothing's actually wrong with it. It's just not ours. It's actually owned by my family and they operate their clothing business out of there. All right, back to the tour. Over here, we're planning on having a podcasting studio, putting some carpet down, some chairs, having mics, being able to just flip on a light and record podcasts over here. Over here, we'll have an editing station. This massive whiteboard is where we're gonna be brainstorming, coming up with our ideas and planning out what we're doing with the business. We'll have a couch over here. We're gonna have a little kitchen area, some coffee, which is a really important part of the studio over here. And up there is where we'll store all of our big, bulky gear. So
That is not actually ours. So they're actually going to be putting a wall up right here. So we're not actually going to have this office over here. But it is motivation for our business that hopefully we will grow to a point where we can actually afford and to a point where we'll actually need to have that much space. So that's the goal. Can we knock down that wall once they put it up?
I definitely feel very motivated by that. So over the next couple months in this studio space that we have now, we're gonna be expanding the business into both merchandise and paid content, as well as making sure that our AdSense is growing, as well as our brand partnerships and strengthening those brand partnerships. Now, those brand partners and specifically Storyblocks has been such an important launching pad for us to become full-time creators and actually to allow us to have this career and start to grow in this direction.
I think I imagined that we would be in a creative office space and we had like 3 or 4 employees.
That could happen. We do have a couple more months.
Yeah.
We should recognize that something's always gonna come up when we're about to end.
And because they gave us such a great launch pad for ourselves as creators, we actually want to give one of you a launching pad and give you $1,000. It's actually not really a giveaway. It's more of like, we will sponsor one of your videos.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's actually a Colin and Samir brand deal. So what we want you to do is pitch us an idea for a YouTube video in the comments. But the format we want you to pitch in is just the title. So give us the title of your YouTube video and we're gonna scroll through, and if we like one of them or there's one that has a ton of likes and everyone seems to like it, that's the one that we're gonna fund and sponsor.
So we're gonna give you $1,000 to sponsor that video that you make. We'll probably have you do like a Colin and Samir ad read or something. It'll be fun.
Something.
Anyway, we wanna support other creators. We've been so supported by brand partners like Storyblocks that we wanna pay it forward and support one of you guys who's watching. So pitch us your ideas, make sure they're good, subscribe to the channel, like the video.
And stay tuned because we just got a new studio space and we're super excited to build it out and just move forward with this vision for our business. And we're super grateful to have all of you along for the ride. Truly, like, we can't do it without you. You're a huge part of this business. That's not something I think we maybe mentioned throughout that, but it's integral. Like, every part of creator business has to do with all of you watching. So thank you.
Watch the breakdown.
Tell you what though, this LaCroix fell on the ground. Pretty risky to open it up.
Yeah, do it. Do it. See, least risky guy I know.
Right,
That's the risk for the day.
I got few things, but if you need a dollar bill in your blue jeans, I'ma throw it to you, honey, like I'm Drew Brees. I'm just happy that my crib got 2 cents.